Is this genuine or merely a scam? This food is definitively one of my favorite kidney cleansers. That's surprising, yet not to an extreme degree. In recent years, you have eaten a rather unhealthy diet, perhaps also unconsciously consuming a lot of salt and a lot of sugar. The key word is extensively processed food. And many of us do this because, to be honest, we don't know any different or we don't know any better. Of course, this can lead to obesity, blood sugar fluctuations, secondary diseases such as diabetes, heart problems, and so on. And of course, the whole thing can also be stressful. Stressful for our body, for our organs, and especially for our kidneys. Our kidneys are our sewage treatment plant. That's how I always try to describe them. This means that everything bad that goes into your body at the top goes through these treatment plants, through our kidneys. We have two of them, right and left. Therefore, if you want to do something good for yourself, then you should take a closer look at this video. In this video, I will tell you which foods you can use to cleanse your kidneys and thus perhaps even prevent kidney problems later on. However, and this is also very important for me to say now, I will explain right away what I mean by cleaning too. What does term cleaning actually mean? Because we are not talking about hocus pocus here, and it's really about what is good for your body to do. Hello, my name is Dr. Tobias Wegel. With my YouTube channel, I would like to provide medically understandable and correct information about illnesses, their causes, and what we can do about them ourselves. Focus on personal nutrition and, of course, on exercise routines and sports. And all of this is very closely connected. If you don't want to miss anything, subscribe to my channel now. The crucial function of our pair of kidneys is to take in useful substances and expel the harmful ones from our body. These are filter systems, filter organs. I call them our sewage treatment plants. So our kidneys are our sewage treatment plants and our urine is our wastewater. Accordingly, if the kidneys can no longer do their job properly, this can have serious health consequences for us. Moreover, this can potentially lead to kidney failure, which means that the kidneys no longer work. Because the problem with our kidneys is, once they are weakened, they are really broken, then they cannot effectively regenerate themselves as well as, for example, other organs of our body, such as the liver. It can regenerate relatively well. Therefore, nurture and care for your kidneys. Prevention rather than later reaction. And there are many things we cannot influence in life. We also have bad luck and genetics, but there are some things we can influence. And these things definitely include what we eat and what we drink. This damages your kidneys. Now, before I tell you about 7 foods that support the function of our kidneys, let's take a look at the top 3 of what we call kidney molesters. It is always important not only to accelerate, but also to apply the brakes naturally. So, what is bad for our kidneys? And this includes, firstly, permanently too much salt, too much phosphates, which are particularly found in cola and are contained in sausages. And thirdly, now you might be surprised, too much protein. But at this point, it is very, very important to say too much protein really means too much. Of course, this does not mean eating a high-protein diet. This diet, in turn, is highly recommended and is also recommended by the German Nutrition Society and Professional Society of Nephrologists or kidney specialists. Too much protein means permanent for healthy kidneys, but permanent really means months or even years over about 4 grams per kilogram of body weight. And for already damaged kidneys, over 2 grams per kilogram of body weight. Moreover, the German Nutrition Society recommends a diet rich in protein in case of kidney failure. Exception, you are required to undergo kidney dialysis. But even if you eat a healthy diet, your blood test results might not be excellent. And that's why in this video I'm going to come up with 7 foods that are really good for your kidneys. Please stay tuned until the end, because my number 7 might surprise you. Kidney detox, what does that mean? Very briefly in advance, if you would like to learn more about the kidneys themselves, how they are structured, find out whether you already have kidney weakness, for example, then you can watch these 2 videos of mine where I go into more detail. But now to the topic, detoxifying your kidneys. First of all, it is also important, is the term actually correct here? So can you call it detox? Here, we are not talking about a detox like a juice cleanse, for example. In fact, the process of detoxifying our kidneys is not about getting really toxic substances out of our body, but rather about getting the right substances to our body. And very important, there is no miracle cure food, but it is always the dietary pattern that is decisive. However, it is crucial to know that our kidneys detoxify us. You have exactly this filter function. And there are, however, foods, and I will mention 7 of them that support our kidneys in their work. And that is the important thing, and that is good for the kidneys, which contribute to the functioning of the kidneys. Number 1, water. Just as humans need water to survive, so do our kidneys. Water is particularly important for them, but be careful. Drinking too much can also damage your kidneys. About 2 liters of water a day are often recommended. That can be right, for example, for a healthy person who weighs around 70 kilos. The recommendation for healthy people, and this is a good figure, is 30 to 40 milligrams per kilogram of body weight per day, evenly distributed throughout the day. However, if you suffer from renal insufficiency at an older age, which is very common, then your doctor may advise you otherwise. No, not to drink more, but then the opposite, to drink less. If you drink too much in such cases, is it possible that the water cannot be completely excreted from the body because your kidneys are weakened? And then it could cause you to accumulate in your legs, for example, make edema, and you then need diuretic substances to help you get rid of them. That's why it's important to pay attention to how fit the kidneys are. Are there any pre-existing conditions? For example, if you suffer from kidney stones, it can help if you drink more than usual acutely. Here, the so-called kidney irrigation can promote health. So that's absolutely vital. If you have known kidney problems or kidney disease, either more or less water is advisable. And that is why there is no one-size-fits-all answer. And perhaps to make it even more complex, other diseases, especially with the heart, for example, affect the cardiovascular system as to whether you should drink more or less of the 30 to 40 milligrams per kilogram of body weight. So you see that even simple water can be complex. And this also shows how complex our health is and that there are no simple or one-size-fits-all answers for all issues. Number 2, buckwheat. And we continue with the study winner, moving away from water and now towards the pseudo grain known as buckwheat. Actually, buckwheat tastes like grain, but it's gluten-free. So it's also perfect for you if you have a gluten intolerance. You can easily prepare buckwheat like rice or use these grains for baking. This plant is now also available in other different forms. So you can simply sprinkle it over your muesli or quark, for example, in a buffered version. Your creativity is always essential. But why and how does buckwheat help our kidneys? The majority of research has indicated that the flavonoids it contains can potentially reduce blood sugar levels. The flavonoids can also help with complications associated with diabetic kidney or kidney damage. The flavonoids are crucial, and they are also found in other foods. So other foods are also good for the kidneys. At the same time, however, it could also help with kidney failure, which is caused by a high-fat diet. And as we are aware, many of us consume excessive amounts of unhealthy fats. These are the so-called trans fats and the so-called saturated fatty acids. These are the bad fats. But I often say it, and here repeat it again. Not all fats are the same. The saturated fatty acids, for example, in sausages, lots of meat and sweets, are certainly bad for our kidneys. However, I would also like to point out that most of the studies on buckwheat have also been carried out on mice, and therefore we cannot apply them one-to-one to humans. Anyway, in general, buckwheat is said to have an antioxidant effect and does not carry any risks, which is why you can eat it without hesitation. The next time you make a purchase, it will be added to your shopping cart. Buy buckwheat, which is also a really good change. Here again, the dietary pattern is decisive. 3 apples. Everybody's heard an apple a day keeps the doctor away. Of course, different fruits and vegetables should be a necessary part of our everyday menu. This is healthy, nobody is surprised anymore, we know that. Recommendations of the German Nutrition Society. 5 portions per day, 3 vegetables and 2 fruits. In relation to our kidneys, it has been proven that a healthy, balanced diet with daily fruits and vegetables can help you to get kidney stones less often. So it's not just about apples. Berries, apricots, grapes and other different fruits can also help us develop kidney stones less often. Small kidney stones, of course, don't pose a great danger. And actually, we often don't even know that we have them. However, these should definitely not be underestimated, as they may already be an essential indication that your kidneys have problems. And over time, these small kidney stones then get bigger and bigger and can then cause severe pain, for example, which can then lead to it becoming an emergency. As an emergency doctor, I often deal with renal colic. It is typical to say the pain moves, the patient moves. So this is crucial. You can prevent it well with daily fruits and vegetables and also with plenty of water. It is also important that you consume little sugar, little phosphate and little sodium, that is salt. as they are certainly not good for the kidneys. For this reason, fruits, vegetables ideal to consume fresh are optimal for you to have in your everyday menu as they have higher values in dried form or as juice. Fructose is a key ingredient, and it can therefore also put a strain on your body. More the liver, less the kidneys, but that's why it's important to pay attention to it as well. Number 4, oranges. And now my number 4 is also very important. If you want to avoid kidney stones, which is often a common problem that you get, the answer is citrus fruits. That's why I have now chosen oranges. Of course, citrus fruits are also fruits, but they are considered to be true kidney stone killers and are therefore now listed separately here. Consuming oranges increases the amount of citrate in your body, and studies have shown that an increased level of citrate in the urine can effectively reduce the risk of kidney or bladder stones forming. And of course, this also applies to lemons, including grapefruits. So if you want to protect your kidneys from kidney stones, and especially if you are genetically predisposed to kidney stones, then eating oranges or other citrus fruits regularly or drinking freshly squeezed orange or other juice can help. However, be careful with the purchased orange or other citrus juice I had just said, as there is often a lot of sugar added here. What can significantly reduce the positive effect on your kidneys is if there is a lot of sugar in the food or drinks you consume. And very important at this point, all foods and drinks, including lemons and oranges, because this is often said incorrectly, are metabolized in an alkaline way. Although they are acidic, they don't make the blood acidic or anything. It is very important to mention that. Number 5, nettle. And in addition to fruits, there is also a plant in the top 7. As you can see, fruits and vegetables are important for the kidneys. Not surprisingly, many other organs feel the same way. So the stinging nettle, which is also known as Urtica dioica, is a plant with an antioxidant effect. And it can not only help our kidneys, but also the bladder, also the liver, and even our brain. This is also due to the numerous vitamins and minerals such as vitamin C, such as iron. The stinging nettle can not only inhibit the formation of inflammatory substances, which is good, but it also have a diuretic effect. And that is very important for the kidneys. In addition, this plant can also prevent the development of kidney stones. But again, it's important to note that nettle is not a miracle cure. Studies on rats, for example, also showed an increased citrate level in the urine, which has a positive effect on the kidneys. Because when the citrate in the urine is elevated, it is released, so to speak. So stinging nettle is a real all-rounder for the kidneys. The easiest way to find nettle is in the form of tea. Of course, you can also make it by yourself, in which case the effect will probably be even stronger. Important to mention, in studies, it is often so highly concentrated that it is not even used in practice. 6, ginger. The hype about this hot root doesn't seem to stop. So you always hear a lot about it, and quite rightly so, in my opinion. The essential oils and pungent substances contained in ginger not only ensure that the tuber tastes good, in addition, research indicates that this plant has beneficial effects on our kidneys. As diabetics in particular are susceptible to kidney weakness and often develop kidney problems as a result of diabetes, this food can be particularly helpful, as numerous tests have also shown a positive effect of ginger on blood sugar levels, which can be partly responsible for kidney insufficiency. Since ginger can also have a positive effect against oxidative stress and kidney problems in general, I can say that the tuber is my favorite food from the top 7. Ginger cleanses the body in a variety of ways, and in my opinion, it is ideal if you want to start living healthy now. So my recommendation is always to add a little ginger. Ginger tastes really good both raw when you season Asian dishes with it, for example, and brewed as a tea. But here let's note again, it is not a miracle cure. Actually, there is no evidence that consuming large amounts of ginger, for example, can lower the mortality rate and reduce the risk of kidney disease. There is no such thing, but it is definitely part of a healthy eating pattern. And that certainly helps us do something positive for our kidneys' health. That is the decisive difference. Number 7, natural yogurt. So, my number 7 may come as a bit of a surprise for you at first. You know, I also eat it almost every day. But wait and see what is behind it now. Namely, there are some studies that suggest that probiotics, and the magic word has probably already been heard by one or the other, can support a healthy kidney. This is particularly true in relation to kidney weakness, which affects diabetics. In this instance, the worsening of kidney disease could be potentially delayed by probiotics, and they owe this to an anti-inflammatory property. If you want to consume more probiotics, then you can either eat yogurt, also kefir, or fermented foods, but also pickled vegetables, parmesan, and dietary supplements. Make sure that yogurt does not contain too much sugar, which is again crucial, as an increased blood sugar level is then of course the result again, and elevated blood sugar levels, kidney diseases, diabetes, etc. can promote. A food always has different effects, and as always, good on the one hand, but on the other hand, it may also have potential negative sides. So the healthiest alternative in this case is natural yogurt. Hopefully, by this video, I have made you hungry for these 7 delicious foods that can also help your kidneys work healthier. There are also examples of other foods. There are also different alternatives. I also always go into this in my guidebooks and name food groups, so to speak. Remember to pay attention to what you usually put in your shopping cart, because nutrition is a very important building block for our general health. Also note that food can support therapy, but it should not be a substitute. This is a very important issue. And of course, you do not cure diseases with food. Thank you for watching. Feel free to comment on the video, maybe write down your tips. What do you do for your kidneys? Thank you very much and stay loyal to me.